Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for a River Hero Homes webinar about riparian buffers and the James River Buffer Program. My name is Katie Riley, and I am the James River Association's Community Conservation Coordinator, and I will be your moderator for the duration of the webinar. Before we get started, I want to extend a special thank you to Altria and DuPont Clear into the Future for supporting our River Hero Homes program and making this webinar possible. So over the course of the next 20 or 30 minutes, you will learn about the James River Association's River Hero Homes program and about James River buffers. I will provide just a brief overview of our River Hero Homes program, and then I'll turn things over to our special guest, JRA's Restoration Field Manager, Joey Shelton. Your questions are both welcomed and appreciated. We ask that you please submit any questions you may have via the Zoom chat feature, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. So as many of you probably know, every time it rains, fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, and bacteria from pet waste are carried into our local waterways and ultimately the James River by stormwater runoff. And this is called stormwater pollution. Stormwater pollution adversely impacts the health of the James River, and reducing it is really the focal point of the River Hero Homes program. Our River Hero Homes members make up a community of stewards who realize that the first step to a healthier James starts at home. The program empowers the residents of the 10,000 square mile watershed to contribute to a healthy James River by implementing river-friendly conservation practices at home. And in short, River Hero Homes is a solution to stormwater pollution. This wonderful graphic comes to us courtesy of RVA H2O. And we really love it because it really accurately illustrates how stormwater runoff can jeopardize the health of our local waterways. Stormwater runoff occurs when rain falls and snow melts on impervious surfaces like our rooftops, driveways, sidewalks, and roadways. And that stormwater picks up pollutants, trash, and debris as it flows across these impervious surfaces and into storm drains and local waterways. Stormwater pollution occurs when stormwater runoff reaches a local waterway like the James River and its tributaries. Our River Hero Homes members take a pledge to commit to a minimum of 3 to 5 river-friendly practices that are pretty straightforward, and you're likely already doing them from your home. These include picking up pet waste to prevent bacteria pollution, using regionally native plants and removing invasive plants in gardens and in landscapes, reducing or eliminating herbicide and pesticide use to promote a healthy ecosystem, reducing or eliminating fertilizer use to reduce nutrient pollution entering our waterways and encourage healthy soil by using compost. And then lastly, reducing household water use and installing a rain barrel where possible to harvest rainwater for watering needs. By joining the River Hero Homes program, members receive benefits including discounts at local nurseries and businesses with their membership card that they receive when they sign up. They also receive newsletters, stickers, and an optional James Change Your Yard flag. Members also receive advance notice about our programs like our rain barrel workshops and native plant workshops. And you also receive advance notice and access to River Hero Homes webinars like this one. I'll end by saying, please encourage your friends and family to join River Hero Homes. You can visit jamesriverhero.org as provided at the bottom of this slide for more information about the program and for some helpful resources as well. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Joey Shelton. Joey is the Restoration Field Manager at the James River Association. In his role, he works directly with landowners and partner agencies to develop and maintain riparian forest buffers across the Middle James watershed, as well as provide best management practices to ensure long-term success. Joey covers the counties of Amelia, Chesterfield, Cumberland, Goochland, Henrico, Nottoway, Powhatan, and Prince Edward. And thank you for joining us today, Joey. I'm going to stop sharing and let you take it away.
Thanks, Katie. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Can you see that okay?
Yep, looking good.
Cool. So yeah, Katie said I'm the restoration field manager. Got my own title wrong on the first slide. That's always a good start. So I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview of riparian buffers, some of the benefits of them, and if you're eligible, how to enlist in our program. So our little graphic here kind of just shows some of the multifaceted benefits of streamside forest restoration. So it's not just about improving the water quality. There's a lot of compounding benefits that riparian buffers offer, including wildlife habitats, cooling water. So in our mountainous areas, getting that water temperature down will help trout and increase dissolved oxygen content, providing biomass for macroinvertebrates in the streams, increasing property values. A lot of people don't think about that aspect. Providing green jobs. So, you have to have folks to put the buffers in and then maintain them. So there's a lot of different factors that go into streamside forest restoration. So kind of just an overall, 10,000-foot view of JRA's restoration program focus. So you can see a map here. We have the entire James River watershed, which is kind of broken up into two spheres. In the middle and western, you have riparian forest projects we put in for streamside restoration. And down in the lower James, we have our Living Shorelines program where they go in and install grasses that help stabilize those shorelines and reduce erosion. But we're going to be talking about today is going to be the buffer program. So here's just a map of the James River buffer, or I'm sorry, the James River watershed. JRA covers restoration efforts in the Middle James, which is kind of, if you can look at Amherst, Nelson, Albemarle, all those counties, and then East, and then Chesapeake Bay Foundation, they operate the same program, but they cover the Upper James, so up in the mountainous areas and the tributaries up there. So where we started, launched in 2019, we got a grant from the Virginia Environmental Endowment. We partnered with Department of Forestry in Chesapeake Bay to go in and really help landowners with programs. We noticed a lot of gaps that were being offered. There's a lot of programs out there offered by local and federal agencies, but there was a lot of areas that were not being addressed. So we kind of came in and said, we're going to kind of plug the holes that you're getting left behind. And so that's what we've done, and we've been really successful about it. So we cover all the different facets of design, preparation, install, and then 3 years of maintenance. And the greatest part is that it's 100% free to the landowner. They don't have to do any kind of tax credit or cost share. So who's eligible? If you live anywhere in the Middle or Upper James watershed and you have any kind of water on your property, this could be a perennial stream, could be a creek, a pond. It doesn't necessarily have to be, a riverfront or any of those things. Really, any amount of water on your property that eventually finds its way into the watershed, and you live in the area and you're willing to sign a 15-year agreement, then you are eligible to participate in the program. So the application process, pretty simple. Just go to the website, plug in your address. It'll confirm whether or not you live in the watershed, and then just apply. And then either myself or my coworker, Anne-Marie, will be in touch with you to arrange a site visit. For people who may not have good internet or just don't do computers, we also have a paper application that you can fill out to kind of address some of those people who aren't as tech savvy, say. So the first thing you do is you apply, and then we come out and we perform a site visit. And this could be coming out, identifying the property, the needs of the landowner, and identifying the areas that are eligible for restoration. We do require a minimum of 35-foot width on a buffer, but we're able to plan out to 100. So depending on terrain and topography, will dictate the size of the buffer. Also, another great thing about the James River Buffer program is that unlike other state and federal programs, you are able to make passive income off of your buffer. So if you want to plant edibles or consumables, or if you have bees, or if you just want to plant things that look pretty, you're able to kind of select your own species, which is a great thing you can't do necessarily with other programs. So that's part of the plan development. And then site preparation. So depending on what your property looks like, site preparation could be as easy as going out there and mowing the grass ahead of time. We do try to manage all the invasive species present within the proposed buffer area. And this can include herbicide treatment, mowing, or forestry mulching. So depending on the extent and the severity, we do have funding available to help with that. And then the project materials, if you've ever driven by somewhere and seen the tube farm, that's kind of just what our projects look like. So everything goes in a 2x tube, and then we plant bare root seedlings, about 1 year old. So it is a little bit of eyesore up front, but the tubes ensure long-term success against damage from voles, beavers, and deer. So they do their job. All right, and then project installation. So either it'll get installed with a contractor, so like larger scale projects, more complicated projects, we utilize a contractor, or a lot of times for smaller residential or anything under the acre, we use volunteers and our own staff to go out and plant some of these projects. So plantings always take place between like November and April. That's kind of our time of year to get out there when trees are dormant. All right, and then establishment maintenance. Essentially, establishment maintenance is just long-term success. So early on, a lot of buffer programs, you would just put trees to the ground and walk away and say, that's going to be great. Until you come back to do a 10-year check and realize that your survival rate was terrible, that it was full of invasive plants. So we do provide 3 years of the establishment maintenance, and that includes mowing, competing vegetation, so reducing, competition from fescue and other grasses, as well as, maybe other invasive vines. Tree shelter maintenance. So we go to every project site twice a year, and we do survival checks. Part of our program is we check every project site in the fall. We mark every tree that's dead and replace it in kind every spring. This is really important, especially this time of year, for us to go out and check. We've noticed a lot of damage from flooding. So for us to go out on site and replace those tubes and stakes while that tree is still alive is critically important. And here's just an overall map of the progress we've made. So this is up through, I believe, the spring of 2024. I'm sorry, this is December 2023. And you can just kind of see the acres per county that have been installed through the buffer program. A lion's share of our work has been in Albemarle so far. We have a really good relationship with the Soil and Water District up there. But anybody's in the watershed's open. We just haven't had as much traction in some other areas. All right, and just again, overall advantages of the buffer program. It's zero cost to the property owner. So we fund everything from the design of the project through the establishment maintenance. No project's too small. So we've done everything from 30 acres all the way down to a 1/10 of an acre. We're noticing a lot of times, urban buffers are just as important as planting trees and farms. So no project too small. We do the 3-year maintenance, which is not something that no other program really offers. There are programs that financially incentivize landowners to do their own maintenance, but understand that it sounds great in theory, but it doesn't always get done. The property owner can choose whatever species they would like, and then you never have to worry about a tax credit or a cost share. All right, here's my shameless plug for volunteer opportunities. So if you'd like to come out and help us right now, we're in the midst of doing buffer maintenance, but we have several volunteer plantings coming up this fall. So we're always looking for good folks to come out and want to get their hands dirty. So you can reach out to us. We have our program called Riparian Stewards, which are our volunteers to come out and help us get to kind of pour the watershed and walk around some really pretty farms. So if anybody is looking for volunteer opportunities or would like to get involved, Katie has my email, or we can just set up a time when this is done. That's it. Anybody have any questions? I'll stop sharing so we can get back to the chat.
No. Cool. So thanks so much, Joey. And yeah, it's time for questions. So if anyone has them, please feel free to submit them via the Zoom chat feature. If you don't have any questions at the current time, here's my email, here's Joey's email. Please send us any questions you might have. And I'll also say, as a shameless plug for volunteering with the buffer team, it's a great time. I've done it myself. It's a really great way to get outside, do some really important field work, and see some areas of the James River watershed that you might not normally visit. So just wanted to add that as well. But yeah, please feel free to submit any questions you have for either myself or Joey. And we'll give it a few minutes, see if any pop in. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions pop in the chat. So with that brings us to the end of this afternoon's webinar. I want to say thanks again to Altria and DuPont Clearing the Future for making it possible. Again, as mentioned, with any questions that might pop up after this webinar, please feel free to reach out to myself or Joey. And please visit thejamesriver.org for more information about the James River Association and how we work to protect and connect people with the river. We do have a question that popped into the chat. Joey, do we have any fall maintenance?
That is an excellent question. And yes, we do. We have workshops. There's going to be one in Scottsville on October 26th. And there's another one in Lexington on, excuse me, let me pull my calendar up. I believe it's November 5th. So we try to do two, one for the Upper James and one for the Middle James. Let's see. November 4th, it's a Monday. And then, yeah, October 26th. So next Saturday would be the maintenance workshops. And what these are is they're open to everybody, not necessarily just buffer program participants. And we'll partner with Blue Ridge Prism. And then if nobody's ever heard of Blue Ridge Prism, they are an organization who's solely dedicated to knowledge about invasive plants and treatment and management methods. So we'll be out on site on 2 different farms. We'll kind of go through buffer maintenance, how you can do it as a landowner. And then they'll be on site to talk about some different invasives, what to look out for, and different treatment methods for some of the invasives. So if you're interested in either of those, my email's right there. Shoot me an email and I can send something out to you. And I do believe breakfast is provided. If that's going to be the icing on the cake that makes you come, they are having breakfast.
That is definitely always a plus. Cool. Well, if there are no other questions, I'll say thanks again for joining us. And yeah, as mentioned, please feel free to visit thejamesriver.org to learn more about the James River Association. And yeah, thanks. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.